Hey, and welcome to Minimalist Gourmet, where today I wanted to take a look at this viral chicken recipe that's taken YouTube by storm. No doubt if you spent any time looking at recipes on YouTube, you come across this. In just over 1 year, the original video has 11 million views, and I wanted to see what all the hype's about. The ingredients seem pretty balanced with sweet, salty, and a little sour, and it looks pretty easy and quick to make, but we're going to find that out on our own. Let's go ahead and get started. We'll begin by creating the crosshatch pattern in the chicken. This will make a lot of little nooks and crannies for the sauce to adhere to, as well as allowing the chicken to cook a little quicker and more evenly. We're just going to simply take our knife and cut about halfway down the chicken breast every 3/4 of an inch or so. You absolutely do not want to cut all the way through, you're just scoring this into a crosshatch pattern. Once you've made all your cuts in one direction, you're going to pick up your chicken breast and rotate it 90 degrees and repeat the same process. As I said, this crosshatch pattern is going to make the chicken cook a lot quicker, which really lends this to being a great weeknight meal. From start to finish, you could easily come home, prep up, cook, and be enjoying your dinner in about 30 minutes. So it definitely has some good things going for it from the start. Here's what mine looked like after making the cuts. You can absolutely score this a little bit more shallow if you'd like. For seasonings, the recipe only calls for a little bit of salt and ground black pepper on both sides. Next, we need to dredge our chicken pieces in some all-purpose flour. You do want to get a nice thorough coating on the entire surface, but you don't want it to be thick, so make sure to go ahead and shake off any excess flour. The flour will help create a nice golden brown exterior as we cook it, as well as thickening our sauce slightly. Let the chicken sit on a plate at room temperature for about 5 minutes as we heat up our pan. Let your pan heat up very well over medium-high heat and add your fat of choice. The recipe calls for using either butter or olive oil, but I'll be using both. I think this creates the best flavor profile. The original recipe has them putting in the chicken scored side up first, and this really doesn't make sense to me. I only want to flip my chicken once, and I want the chicken to be scored side up when I cook my sauce, so I'm going to begin by placing the scored side down. We're not looking to cook the chicken completely right now, we're really just browning the exterior surfaces. So we want to cook this on this first side for about 2 to 3 minutes, flip it and allow it to cook for an additional 2 to 3 minutes. After searing, you can see here the chicken is still raw on the inside and that's fine. It's going to finish cooking with the sauce. Going to add a little bit of butter, just like I add the written recipe to every one of my videos in the description below, so definitely go and check that out. And while you're down there, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Our garlic goes in, and we stir fry this in the butter for about a minute or two max before adding the rest of our ingredients for the sauce. For the acidic part of our sauce, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. For the salty portion, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. And for the sweet portion, we're going to add 1/3 of a cup honey or maple syrup. Mix everything very well together before spooning the sauce over the top of the chicken. The sauce is not only going to flavor the chicken by working its way down into those little scored areas, but it's also going to help it finish cooking. Allow your chicken to cook in the sauce for an additional 3 to 5 minutes, basting it every 30 seconds or so. Your sauce will thicken up nicely as it cooks, reducing down in volume. As I mentioned earlier, this is the first time that I'm cooking this recipe, and so far I'm pleasantly surprised. There haven't been any gotchas or heavy technical skills required, and I really do feel that so far this recipe is something that every single person out there can make. And after about 4 to 5 minutes of cooking, my sauce has reduced nicely. It's nice and thick, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the heat and call this done. I think we're ready to serve. So far, this dish smells fantastic. I think it looks quite good, and I've been able to cook it from scratch in under 30 minutes. So I'm quite hopeful. But the proof is in the pudding. How is this going to taste? I'm going to place this out onto a plate and spoon the extra sauce right over the top. The original video garnished with a little bit of chopped up chives, which I had, but I totally forgot to put on while filming. Now the moment of truth, let's go ahead and try this and see how it is. Is it really worthy of 11 million views? It's very tender when I cut into it, but it is a chicken breast. I absolutely wasn't expecting it to be tough. It does look just a touch dry to me, and I think that has to do with all of the cuts that we made in the breast releasing the natural moisture. However, taste-wise, it is spot on. The sauce has a fantastic blend of sweet, salty, and a little bit of acid, as well as making a nice coating in all of those crevices that we cut. Additionally, the thin layer of all-purpose flour on the outside creates a slightly crunchy exterior and really does contribute to the overall flavor and texture of the meal. Given how quick and easy this meal was to make, it really is punching well above its weight class. I have to say, this is a very solid dinner, and overall, it absolutely earns the Minimalist Gourmet seal of approval. Overall, I was a little skeptical to start with, but in all fairness, this is fantastic for a meal in under 30 minutes. You know what else is great as a meal in under 30 minutes? My shakshuka recipe, which you can check out right here. Thanks so much for watching until the end, and I'll see you all again here next Monday.